everyone, welcome back to my new YouTube video. If you guys do not know who I am, hi, hello, my name is Esme. I go as Esme IRL and I hope you enjoy the video that I have planned for you guys today. Now, let me not stall any longer and let's get right into the video. So if you guys do not know what today's video idea is, basically I'm going to be giving you guys April's TBR. However, you know, spinning this up a little bit, my Twitch chat actually chose this for me. So I had a sub goal a few weeks ago where I was like, Twitch chat, you guys get to choose my book TBR for the month of April. And so they filled it out and these are all of the books that they chose. Now I actually chose this live on my Twitch channel if you guys want to check this out. But I'm always live every Tuesday and Sunday at 5 p.m. PST on twitch.tv/EsmeLila. Hopefully, you know, you guys enjoy the little things today. And, you know, we yap about books on there as well if you guys want to check it out. But they actually chose two fantasy books, two romance books, one dark romance, and one free-for-all. So if you guys do not know, they started off, let me start them off. I had them choose the dark romance book first because I have like a very small selection. So I was like, you know what? Choose the dark romance. And so they actually chose Her Soul to Take by Harlan Laveau. You guys do not know, this is basically a college student that unleashes an irresistible darkness. Kind of like she falls in love with a demon that she released. And so it follows around Leon and Ray, who I have actually heard. I bought this book because I saw this on TikTok. You know how most people get their book recommendations. If you are not like me, I get them either on booktube, bookstagram, or book talk. But yeah, they chose Her Soul to Take and I'm greatly excited to read this book. I don't know, it seems so interesting. But yeah, that is their dark romance. Now moving on to their free-for-all choice, they actually chose The Song of Achilles by Madame Miller. It's kind of like a Greek romance retelling, but this was the book that they all collectively chose to agree on because like I was like, you know, I could have given you guys two dark romance, and two fantasy, but I was like, I want to give you guys a choice. Choose a book that you guys want me to read and I will read it. And so they chose The Song of Achilles, and this is actually Achilles, the best of the Greek gods, son of the cruel sea goddess Thetis, and the legendary king Peleus, is strong, swift, and beautifully irresistible to all who meet him. Patroclus is an awkward young prince exiled from his homeland after an act of shocking violence. Brought together by chance, they forge an irresistible bond, desperate risking the gods' wrath. They are trained by the centaur Chiron in the arts of the war and medicine, but when the word comes that Helen of Sparta has been kidnapped, all the heroes of Greece are called upon to lay siege to Troy in her name. Does this not sound super interesting to you guys? It sounds very interesting to me, and I'm so excited to read it. Now, moving on to romance, they chose Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade, which honestly, this I want to say is one of the oldest books that I have on my TBR that I keep wanting to read, but I'm just like, every single time I pick it up, I'm just like, I'm not in the mood, you know, I kind of don't want to read it right now. I'm gonna put you back, like, I'll come back to you. So if you guys do not know, this follows around April and Marcus. Marcus Pastor Rupp has a secret. The world may know him as Aeneas, star of the brightest show on television, but fanfiction readers call him something else. Book Aeneas Would Never. Marcus releases his frustrations with the show by writing and posting anonymous stories about the internet's favorite couple, Aeneas and Lavina. But if anyone went to discover his online persona, he'd be finished in Hollywood. April Waiter has a secret of her own. A hardcore Lavina fan. She's long hidden her fanfic and cosplay hobbies from her real life, but not anymore. But when she dares to post her latest costume creation on Twitter, her plus-size take goes viral. And then Marcus asks her out to spite her internet critic. Truth officially becomes stranger than fanfic. Does that not sound so good to you guys? Like, I don't know, it just sounds super duper interesting that I'm just like, I'm so excited to read it. Now, the next book that they chose for romance was Assistant to the Villain by Anna Nicole Maher. If you guys do not know what this is also another book talk, very popular book. I originally saw when this book came out, it had the purple edges, and I'm so mad at past Esme for not picking up this book. Like, out of all the choices you could have gotten, you didn't get this when it was braid edges. Like, man, like I could do it myself, but I feel like I would freak it out, and I'm just like, I'm just too scared to do that. If you guys do not know, Assistant Wanted. Notoriously high-ranked villains, loyal, level-headed assistant for unspecified office duty, supporting staff for random mayhem and terror and other dark things in general. Discretion is a must. Excellent benefit. That is basically what to the villain is. And look at the frog in the back. Is that not the cutest? I don't know why. He reminds me of the frog from Shrek for some reason. But alrighty, moving on to the fantasy and our last book in total, we have The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. I actually was recommended to me as well by my Twitch chat. They were like, you know, you have Red Queen, you might as well read it, which is what they all chose. So Mare Barrow's world is divided by blood, those with red and those with silver. Mare and her family are lowly red, destined to serve the silver elites whose supernatural abilities make them nearly gods. When Mare accidentally discovers a power of her own she didn't know she had, Silver King is forced to hide the impossibility of her power and pretend she's a long-lost silver princess betrothed to one of his sons. Soon, Mare is drawn to the silver world, where loyalty and desire can tear you apart and the only certainty is betrayal. And before long, her actions put into motion a deadly and violent dance, pitting prince against prince and mare against her own heart. I don't know how fantasy books just make them sound so, I don't know, they make it sound so like out of world. Like, I understand it's out of world, but I'm just like, it just sounds so wonderful that I'm just like, why can't I have been living in a fantasy world? Like, why do I have to live IRL? Like, can I just not jump into these books? And lastly, the last book that I have is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, which is set in, I believe, like kind of like an olden time, where Bolivian Argentinian Inés Olivera belongs to the glittering upper society of 19th century Buenos Aires. And just like the rest of the world, this town is steeped in old world magic that has been largely left behind or forgotten. Inés has everything a girl wants, except for the one thing she yearns for the most: her globe-trotting parents, who frequently leave her behind. When she receives word of their tragic death, Inés inherits their massive fortune and a mysterious garden. An archaeologist, in partnership with his Egyptian brother-in-law, yearning for answers, Inés sails for Cairo, bringing her sketchpads and a golden ring her father spent for her to keep in safekeeping before he died. I'm like, this sounds so cool, and I actually heard that this author credits Rebecca Ross, who is the author of Divine Rivals. They're like, for Rebecca Ross, who fell in love with Egypt as I wrote the first draft, who cheered me on even as I read dead ends, and who swooned when Kit first walked across the page. I was like, I love it when authors are like friends with each other and like they credit them in their books, and I'm just like, I need an author friend just so I could maybe have anything close enough to this. But alrighty, let me pull up all the books and I will show you guys. These are all of the books I have on my April TBR and that my Twitch chat actually chose by myself. Hold on. These are all of the books that Twitch chat chose, and honestly, I'm kind of excited because I maybe would have not read these on my own, but I'm so glad that someone else chose it for me. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the book haul, you know, my Twitch choosing it for me, I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Bye, besties.